Hello, We for Success members. I am Gloria Grace Rand, and I am so pleased to be able to bring back a feature that I did. I got fuzz in my hair, eyes, sorry. A feature that I did. I was doing some last year, and it's to be able to showcase some of our wonderful members that we have in the group. And because this gives you an opportunity to see who's in here and to help you to be able to start building relationships with people. So I'm actually going to do this so we have our names up here. So I am pleased to welcome Margo Masri. And Margo, just tell us a little bit about what your business is. How do you, who do you serve and how do you serve them?
Thanks for having me today. I was really excited when you asked me to come on. I really love your shares every day. I just want to make sure to tell you that I'm one of your Facebook stalkers because I like them every day. I'm like, that totally resonated and aligned with me this morning. Every morning that happens. So what I do is I'm an full service outsourced bookkeeping and outsourced CFO accounting solution. We mainly service entrepreneurs who are in the real estate and the contracting industry. But we are growing in terms of the true service entrepreneurial world. So we service them in a very remote tech and a remote way through online solutions and really giving them the robust way to scale and to bring their business forward.
Very good. That's awesome. Well, I know a little bit about accounting because my husband does accounting, but I hate it. So yay for you being able to do that, and I assume you enjoy it because you probably wouldn't be doing it otherwise, right?
That's kind of one of my missions, is that many people don't adore numbers.
Yeah.
And that was one of my passions in the business, is really just to show people that there's so much more to the dollar and that it's your friend and it's not your enemy.
Yeah, that's cool. Now, I know, like I said, my husband does accounting, and I know I've dealt with other accountants, and it seems like it's usually, I guess, traditionally a male-dominated industry. So how do you cope with that? And then how do you actually position yourself so that you can stand out from the other accountants and bookkeepers that are out there?
Great question. So when I started off 15 years ago, I was really just this hot mess. I was running all over, trying to get clients, aiming to please, and whatever people wanted, I just did. If the phone rang, I just took the work, and I was really just, whining and dining and just trying. And it always came where I had to justify myself and prove. And it came to a point where that's what was running me and not the service-based part of the value that I can bring to clients. So where I stand out is that I stopped all of that craziness and I started to look within and really do a lot of work within myself on who I could bring the most value to and who I can help really scale their business and bring their dreams forward. A massive hurdle that I did have for quite a while was that the accounting industry is a male dominated. And in some ways, it's not just the accounting industry. It's really the world in many ways. And the best tactic for me, or the best tool, is that I always acknowledge where they're at, and then I take it from there. Working for a client, they're in charge, but at the same time, you're there for your value. So the balance for me is that I take a step back when I'm in those positions, and I always let them have somewhat of that upper hand of that feeling. But I'm very curious when those things happen, because that's generally a minus of what's in their world and what I'm helping them overcome. So it was running me. And now my tactic is, I let that happen and ride out that tantrum And what I do is that I break it down in different steps to help them scale and to move forward. And it took me a long time to come from that, because it's a constant like click clack that goes on, because they just assume, or because I'm young, I'm 39, and I started my career in accounting. My business is from when I was in my low 20s. And, you know, the general thing is like, if you don't have a gazillion years of experience and you're not sitting in front of a desk with like thousands and thousands of papers, you don't know what you're doing. Yeah. I would come at the time with my flash drive, and now I just need a username and a password and a secure login. So, you know, just to land this a little bit, it's really about getting onto that same wavelength and then bringing it forward. Mm-hmm. But what makes me stand out is that it's the consistency, it's the reliance that the clients know when they call me, I can answer their questions.
That's good. Yeah, awesome. So I imagine that trying to be able to help business owners with their finances, it can be stressful at times. So what do you do for self-care? And you know, especially as, you know, also as a woman, you know, how does that maybe then, does that even factor in how you can be successful in your business?
So self-care is so important. So important. I feel like I used to think it's more about like how much time you spent on it versus realizing what the activity is that really aligns with you and that really works with you. So for me, years ago, it used to be like doing CrossFit training, a lot of running, like that heavy, but it wasn't bringing me into alignment with myself and the values that I want to bring. So the self-care for me is markered in my calendar. It's not even penciled in, but it's markered in my calendar to make sure that it's the beginning of the day. I have alarms set throughout the day of reminders of certain things to keep me present and to keep me on. And even before I go to sleep. My two favorite things is journaling and yoga. My passion, my love is yoga. And it really has just changed my life. It's getting into all the poses and aligning like your head with your body and really getting into your body. It's just so important because you understand like if your body is upset, angry, frustrated, and if you're in that mode where you don't catch that pattern, your day just continues on to that. And when you have those self-care things set up for you and aligned, you know, it really just helps keep you in the present. So yoga, journaling, and definitely eating healthy. A huge change that I've made, and it just happened. It wasn't like, oh my God, Monday it's going to happen, or like the new year. I became like completely plant-based, and I don't eat meat. And it was really like the best thing. I don't have like these cravings for steak and hamburgers, and like, I don't want to say it's gross, but it's not my thing, you know. Plant-based and smoothies and stuff like that, it really just, it keeps you more real and alive. So I would say in terms of the self-care, a day cannot go by, especially a woman who is, if you have a family, like I have 2 kids, taking care of my house, my kids, and all the things that go with that. I wake up super early to make sure that it gets done for myself, because if I'm not taken care of, like I'm just like this crabby monster that I can't take care of anybody else.
I hear you. Yeah, definitely. I've been there. I mean, I've been getting up this past week, like even sometimes closer to 4:30 in the morning, and it's actually been awesome because I spend time meditating. But now because I'm getting up early, I'm actually spending time reading. I actually sit down, have a cup of tea, and read a book, and for like almost a half an hour, and it's wonderful. It's
what do you?
Well, let's see. Right now, I'm reading a book about ego, enlightenment, and everything else or something like that, but it's really interesting. But just being able to do that, because I've got so many books to read and I was just not getting them done. So yeah, I love the importance of getting up early is good. Which kind of leads me to, and I don't know if maybe this is the same kind of tip, but what one tip would you have to help the members in this group to be successful in their business? Because definitely, self-care is important. I think eating right and all of that, taking care of yourself. But is there any other thing that you would recommend for someone?
Absolutely. So back to the tea thing, I just want to share a recommendation because someone shared this with me and it's awesome. I was a major, and I still somewhat am, like a coffee drinker. Mm-hmm. I don't have like vodka or any of that stuff. But I'm a decent addicted to coffee. So somebody introduced me to this company. It's called Global Tea Hut. I don't know if you heard of it. You can get a membership as low as like $20 a month. And there's this natural tea. It comes to your door and it comes in this wonderful container. And all you do is really just put a bunch of them in a cup and you can refill it like 4 or 5 times before you really need another cup, or depending on how strong you like it. The reason why I share this is because people who are stressed and frustrated, we go through these ups and downs. So that tea is a remedy that I use so that I don't have coffee in the day, and I use it to keep balanced. So people can have the coffee, but then they have this hike. Yeah. And then instead of the hike, when I found this tea, it keeps me more balanced.
Yeah, awesome.
So the tip to answer your question is another big thing I do. People talk about this all the time and they think it's like a woo-woo, but it's a self-care thing also, like these lavender, like the essential oils, putting that in. But the real key, just to get back to your question, is it's batching your time. So it's not like, a big thing every day is always, it's like, if you open up a Facebook feed, it's always like the 7-step funnels that's going to change your life and have you drive the Maserati today.
Right.
We all know that that's not true, but everybody gets sucked in that they just want the next thing that's out there. So it's like the FOMO and everyone's fear of missing out. But creating yourself the method, owning it, and mastering it is the key. So it starts with, batching your time. So for instance, like I do prospect calls at specific times during the week. And it used to be like, I would fit it in here, there, and everywhere, stop with my kids, come down at 8 o'clock if a client wanted to, but I wasn't on. I wasn't, I just wasn't on, and it wasn't working. I was drained. I was just a mess, and it was bringing me backwards. And then when I realized when you do things in alignment of what works for you and batching your time, it becomes organized and the client respects that too.
Oh, yeah.
So something like scheduling your time of when the prospects can have the call. You can always make exceptions. Exceptions again as a pattern. So you have to have boundaries within that, which for me, the boundaries was the key with the time batching. Because if you break your own rules and you break time with yourself, it just creates more bad habits.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's awesome. I appreciate that a great deal. And I know definitely I use Google Calendar, and it's like color coded with different, projects or different things that I'm working on. So I know that, this is a time for like calls. This is a time for education, all different things to be able to keep things organized.
Yeah. So on the calendar, that key, it's the action behind the calendar. So even how you write it on your calendar is the clue to actually commit to the action. So you could, and I'm sure you do this, but I'm just speaking generally what would be the key for me, because you want to check it off your list at the end of the day and have it done. You don't want to have it where it's building up, right?
Right, yeah.
So it starts with how are you scheduling it on the calendar too, so that you're going to attend that action.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's awesome. Um, let's see, what else did I want? Well, let me just throw a little personal question in there so we can get to know you a little bit more, and so the group can know about you, and then then I've got, I think, one other question, and we'll wrap it up. So, what's something, actually, in fact, this wasn't even a question that I sent you, but but I just decided it's like to throw it in there. What is one thing that maybe people don't typically know about you, that maybe something that you've either done or something you've accomplished, or what is it about you that maybe most people don't know?
So I would say people don't know about me is my reliance and my honesty.
Mm.
Because people say, and they just blurt things, they just say,
Yeah,
and it's not committing, there's no integrity.
yeah.
So I'm big on integrity, and I'm big on committing to what I say. And, when I make a promise, let's say to a client and people in my personal life,
Mm-hmm.
that's where I stand. So when I call myself your heartfelt CFO, it's the truth, because I'm connecting from my heart, and I'm not connecting from my mind in terms of the actions of where I'm going and where I'm heading and agreeing to and spending my time. And people will have you busy for days on words, and this, in Hebrew they call it nahafofu, which is always the opposite, things just happening and click clack. But about me is, when people get to know me, is that I'm going to bring you home. I'm going to bring you through that finish line, but you got to follow through to the steps, and I'm going to be committed.
Awesome. All right. Well, very good. So one other thing I want to ask you is, who is a good referral source for you? What type of people what type of clients do you especially like to work with, or even who you could partner with, who again could be referring people to you, referring clients?
So a good referral, I would say, is, my main niche is contractors and real estate developers. But my ideal client is an entrepreneur who appreciates a proactive mindset, and somebody that they can depend on and rely on, that they have their day-to-day needs in mind, along with the end of the big picture of not paying a lot of taxes, and being able to scale the business, but bring their dreams to life. So the ideal client is an entrepreneur in the service-based industry.
Gotcha. All right. Well, awesome. Well, anyone out there, if you know anyone like that who can, refer to Margo, definitely, post in the group. And if you, if you know someone, even Margo yourself, who you think would be a good candidate for this group, I encourage you to invite them as well, because the more people we get in here, the more opportunities we have to really grow with each other, to be able to provide support and form like referral partnerships and joint ventures and things like that. And that's really what I would love to see this community grow and be a supportive community going forward for 2019. So that's my plan anyway, and Jen's as well. So thank you so much for being here. I don't know if you've got any last parting words, your last shot, if you want to get something in. And I forgot to ask at the beginning, is if you have, I don't know, if you have any type of free offer or anything that you'd like to share, we can definitely put it in the comments after we finish recording. But if there's any type of resource that our members could benefit from, we'd love to, this is your opportunity. You can share that with us.
No problem. So absolutely, if I definitely have someone who belongs to the group, I would love to invite them in and share with the beautiful community and the aura that you really put out there. You know, I will definitely keep that in mind. I do have just if there are accountants and bookkeepers somehow in this group, I just want to invite any of you that I have a mastermind, a mastermind accountants and tax. We're about 270 people now, and I have a program for that. So if any of you are in there, I welcome you into the community. I have put coaches and entrepreneurs in there who stand out and really just want to be in an up-leveled community. So I'm just putting that out there. My offer for today is really what's the best is I can give you free PDFs of my blogs, which is out there every day if you follow me. I really am fun to follow because I put a bunch of stories out there of like live things. I haven't gone live in a while, actually, I just realized. But I post a lot of, each day I post. But I open the door to any of you who just may need guidance. Maybe like you're in like this trouble state of an entrepreneur and you don't know where to go. And if you want to consult with me, not even just a consult, just like to talk, I'm totally open to that I can help you. If you want to direct message me on a question, I'll share the link to my calendar or just direct message me through Facebook. I'm more than happy to. It doesn't have to be into a business deal, where you become my client. I'm just opening up the door to help, especially other women out there. I know what that's like to want to move the business forward and not know where to go. And something like simple, like an ideal client is tough. And I just had 2 webinars on that, and I can, you know what, I'm going to share that. I'm going to share that webinar and the link.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah, I'm going to share that. And again, I open you guys the door to the mastermind. There's my program Boardroom. It supports that, if you guys are, in that field. Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to chat with us. And again, everyone take advantage of Margo's offer. I think that's awesome. And I know you're probably starting to get really busy because it's tax season. I know my husband is on me with that, getting QuickBooks in order. So we're working on that right now. So thank you. And I will, tune in again. I don't have a regular schedule for when these interviews are going to come up. So you're just going to have to be ready and take advantage of them. And we'll get to learn a lot about the different people in here. So until next time, I am Gloria Grace Rand, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care.
Bye.